Πάμε τώρα, κυρίες και κύριοι, σε αυτό το οποίο λοιπόν σας είπαμε σήμερα νωρίς το πρωί. Ο νομπελίστας οικονομολόγος Πωλ Kρούγκμαν μιλά αποκλειστικά στο Action 24 και στον Βασίλη Τσεκούρα. Κρούει τον κόδωνα του κινδύνου για την ενδεχόμενη εκλογή Ντόναλντ Τραμπ από τη μία. Από την άλλη, φοβάται, ξέρεις ποια οικονομία φοβάται περισσότερο? Των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών Αμερικής. Και μας εξηγεί τους λόγους. Αμέσως μετά λοιπόν μιλάει για την άνοδο της ακροδεξιάς στη Γαλλία και φυσικά τι επιπτώσεις θα έχει όλο αυτό στην Ευρώπη γενικότερα. Ενώ αναφέρεται και στην Ελλάδα, που εκτιμά ότι έχουν γίνει πολύ σταθερά και σημαντικά βήματα όσον αφορά την οικονομία μας. Ωστόσο, ο ίδιος λοιπόν βλέπει να είναι λίγο δύσκολα τα πράγματα, το να πάμε 20 χρόνια πίσω και έτσι όπως ήμασταν στην προηγούμενη κατάσταση. Γιατί
γενικά, επειδή είναι ένας παγκόσμιος opinion leader, δείτε τον για να δείτε πώς σχολιάζει ο ίδιος.
Έλατε.
Greece has, has eventually, it's clearly a significant economic recovery, and it took a very long time. You should not just say, because things are not too bad right now, that everything that went before was justified. Some things work in Greece's favor. Tourism has become a huge force in the world economy, and Greece is well positioned to take advantage of it.
Do you think that Greece is back on track for sure?
Nobody ever said that the euro, that the costs of a euro crisis would be permanent, and eventually one does recover, but my God, the cost along the way has been huge. So yes, I mean, things are relatively tolerable now for the Greek economy. Who knows what the future holds?
Is Greece still faces risks?
Oh, everyone still faces risks. I mean, among other things, no, it's not. Greece doesn't face the same kinds of risks that it did before. I mean, I'm just worried about the world as a whole. But to be honest, I'm at the moment more frightened for my own country than I am for yours. On the eve of the crisis, Greece was a recipient of really unsustainable inflows of capital, and when those were cut off, all hell broke loose. That's not the situation now. But the European project as a whole is very troubled now, given the political situation.
So we need some more time to become a country like 20 years ago or 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it never. I mean, there was clearly this was an economy that was driven in part by irrational exuberance on the part of investors. There was just too much, there was money flowing in a way that is probably never going to happen again. But no, and if you ask the question, how does Greece become a full, how does it achieve a Danish or a French level of GDP? The answer is that nobody knows that. That's one of the great mysteries of economics. In France, I mean, there are some questions about how the French economy, how will it be managed if the RN actually ends up in the government, and it will be problematic. But I actually have not seen any plausible story certainly of a short-term economic crisis. And now, if the RN really goes through with trying to reduce the retirement age and cut VAT and somehow pay for all of that by being nastier to immigrants, then you may have a problem.
The world now is facing two wars at the same time, in Ukraine and in the Middle East. Ships are forced to avoid the Red Sea because of the Houthi attacks. Yeah. And is that a new challenge for the whole world and economies? Is there any danger of a new crisis, you think?
The economic side of the Ukraine war, in terms of its impacts, the worst of that was 2 years ago. The war in Gaza, it's a terrible, horrible catastrophe. I'm not sure that the Houthi attacks are disruptive.
We have the US elections, they are 4 months away. Yeah. Biden vs. Trump. We know Biden, we know Trump. What's your thoughts about that?
I have I mean, first of all, if you want election predictions, I don't know anything and whether it'll be Biden or whether he will step aside and who will win, I have no information on that. If Biden or a chosen successor wins, then relations with Europe will be pretty much okay. If you are asking, should we be worried about a trade war between the EU and the United States? Well, if Trump wins, yes, definitely in the realm of things that might well happen.
Mr. Kruggman, thank you for this conversation.
Well, thank you.
Μάλιστα. Κυρίες και κύριοι, να ξέρετε ότι οι συνεντεύξεις του και οι δηλώσεις του θα έλεγε κανείς ότι ενεργοποιούν πάντα έτσι αντιδράσεις, συζητήσεις κτλ. Αυτή εδώ είναι μια συνέντευξη τέτοια, την οποία πήρε ο πολύ καλός συνάδελφος Βασίλης Τσεκούρας, ο παρουσιαστής του Κεντρικού Δελτίου Ειδήσεων του Action 24.